Sydney Radka, and welcome to another edition of FLX Weekly here at FingerLakes1.com. It is already March 3rd, 2020, and we are live inside the FingerLakes1.com studio, where I'm joined by Jim Senecropi today, Kristen Moore, the environmental educator at Seneca Meadows Education Center, and Mark Benjamin, Community Relations Director of Seneca Meadows. Today's show is brought to you by Woody's Bar and Grill. They have all your dining needs that you have to do for Lent. This is what we're talking about.
All your dining needs
Lent.
that you have to do.
Have to do. All your dining needs, it says. And if you're looking for an excellent fish fry on Fridays during Lent, you don't need to look any further because they have specials available for takeout only every Friday during Lent. And some of those specials are like a fried haddock sandwich, a fried haddock dinner, coconut shrimp, broiled fish, raviolis, and eggplant too, so you can stay away from that meat. They do want pre-orders if you could, and the number is 315-220-8250. They'll bring it right out to your car too, which is nice.
Excellent.
Yeah, because Lent is already here because it's already March, and it's time to talk about some interesting things you guys have going on. So we're very excited to have you here. We're going to talk about a new series that you're kicking off come March 6th, correct?
Yeah, that's right, Sydney. Thank you so much for having us. Susan Gately will start off our WOW series. It's Women on Water. She actually coined the phrase to market her recent historical fiction book, Widowmaker. But as she is a fearless advocate for clean waters and has sailed Lake Ontario for over 30 years, I thought she'd be a great person to kick the series off for us.
That's super exciting. So this is going to be not just one event, but it's going to be an event that goes until when?
June 5th.
June 5th, and you'll have a different woman every month? Every month, and each of them are super important in this area for different reasons or from all over?
Actually, our second speaker is from Canada, Jen Pate.
Oh, yeah.
She began an organization called Love Your Greats, a conservation organization for all of the Great Lakes. But she's also involved in Mission Expedition, an international group that brings women on waters to do research on sailing vessels and learn sailing skills. And she's involved in many things, but we're excited to let her tell people about that more April 16th.
That is awesome. So what made you decide that this was a series that you were going to start here in the Finger Lakes?
Actually, Susan Gately has been influential in my education for years now. When I began studying hydrofracking at Green Mountain College, she gave me a lot of direction in my studies. And one of the first times that I actually worked with her was during a water chestnut pull. We spoke about this a little bit yesterday. Water chestnuts are really like slimy, and they have thorns that can poke you. And so she got me in there in the marsh, pulling up these nasty weeds, filling up boats, and learning hands-on why they're a problem and how we can be part of the solution.
Oh, so that's something that I feel like a lot of people can't say that they have done. So that's pretty cool that you were able to do that. And with all of the Finger Lakes that we have here in this area, it would make sense.
Are they an invasive species?
They are.
Okay.
Oh.
So what's like the format for these? If somebody signed up to attend, what would like the presentation look like? Is it Q&A or is it hands-on?
On Saturday, we'll be offering a Zoom. It's kind of going to be an informal conversational interview like this. But then we would like questions from people. And as we're getting the word out and letting people know who's going to be available, we really welcome interested parties to hop in on the conversation, like Hillary Mosier from the Finger Lakes Institute. I've really been wanting to talk with her more about water chestnut in the marshes. And swallowwort is another invasive species that is really bad for monarch butterflies.
Oh.
So where we live up on Lake Ontario is an important place for monarchs when they come across the lake and they need feeding and breeding grounds. So to have a plant that would strangle the milkweed is really bad for the species.
Wow.
And so invasives, there's so many invasive species now, it seems like. And is there a reason, is there more now than there was 20 years ago? And is there a reason why that might be the case?
Possibly through increased travel shipment of goods. And also on our Finger Lakes, when we do maybe move a boat of any kind from one to another, that can be really fun, but that's the way to move the invasive species.
From one lake to the other, right?
Yeah. So I did train with Finger Lakes Institute to be a watercraft steward. So we do hope to bring more of their materials to everyone as well as the series goes along. And Susan and I were talking last night. It would be really neat to have a culminatory event at the end to synthesize the different information that we've brought forward and to, highlight once again the ways that people can be involved. And I also thought, how invasive species can be just something you hear about and you might not really know how they could impact you in your life. But since I kayak and I have a dog and I live on the lake, they could impact me daily through closing up the waterway. The water chestnuts can create a thick mat so that they can kill the wildlife underneath.
More you know.
Which lake do you live on?
I live near Lake Ontario.
Okay.
So primarily hydroalgal blooms are only a problem on the bays because of the shallow water and the way the wind is. But those are toxic to people and dogs. So that's another thing that can, impact me daily. And mute swans, they never really were there before, but they're very aggressive, especially in the springtime. And so it went from this really nice, tranquil marsh that I could enjoy to I could be attacked by these things. My dog could be poisoned. Maybe we can't get through. But we've actually seen some progress managing the water chestnut in that marsh. I think because the Finger Lakes Institute applied an herbicide, and there have been repeat chestnut pulls, but the pandemic did get people to stop doing some of their, outdoor work. Yeah. So that can really put us back. So we'll have to talk to more experts and see what the status is and what we can do.
I think it's really great that you did come on, because I feel like sometimes people still don't realize through Seneca Meadows how much education they can get through the education center. I think sometimes I don't know if they're I don't know what I would be studying. I don't know what it's going to be about, but I feel like Mark is super lucky to have brought you on. And it's been a few years now already since you first joined us.
I'll be coming up on my second anniversary here.
And you have so much knowledge that you can bring to this area, and with it getting warmer weather now and people are going to want to get out in the water, these are things that people maybe would never take into consideration. And I know if I was kayaking with my dog and didn't know about something that could be toxic to my dog and that ended up happening, I would be devastated. So I think it's all really good information that people need to think about more in this area specifically.
Yeah, Sydney, you're so on target with that, and we're so lucky to have Kristen here with us, educating the community, being available as a resource. It's just we're so enamored with the energy that she has and brought to the team. And as you can see with these new programs that she's instituting, the overarching theme is really focused on the environment, sustainability, and just how humans can interact and be impacted upon their local environment.
I agree. 100%.
So how are you handling the pandemic, Mark? I mean, we've reached the year. I mean, I kind of put it in my, I kind of bookmark it by St. Patrick's Day last year, because I remember Red's Place, for instance, downtown, which isn't even Red's Place anymore now. A lot's changed in the past year. Was going to have their St. Patrick's Day, ham and cabbage and all that, and then they canceled it.
That's right.
And it was so it's been about a year. This time last year was when it started to be something that we were it's just something we'll deal with, to turning into something that really affected everybody's life in a major way. And here we are a year later.
You're right, Jim. And our team, we really started feeling these. The brunt of the virus from a more regional level, because our teams, our company has assets down in New York City and downstate, and so we were starting to get some of that noise coming up beginning of February. So we started putting in safety protocols, about 3 or 4 weeks ahead of the rest of the region here, just because we were seeing what was happening and just trying to be, you can never be too cautious. So we've done pretty well as far as our health and safety has been concerned. And Jim, I appreciate you asking. And the one thing that we've all tried to maintain in this whole year of disruption is just being grateful for our blessings, right?
Yeah.
And the thing I think is cool and just really terrific what you guys have been able to do is you guys have been able to keep going through this, where people are at home, right. And these shows like this that you guys put on, or maybe your only outlet, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to thank you guys for continuing to keep the show going. That's just tremendous. So pat yourselves on the back for not.
We've had a big year. I'll pat myself on the back, or pat ourselves on the back. When this happened, all of a sudden news and information became really important, and we were really the ones that were providing it on a daily basis, and our traffic just exploded. We always thought we got a lot of traffic before the pandemic, but last spring it really started to skyrocket. Because people, all of a sudden, this information was vital. Like, what's the restrictions? What's open? What's closed? What's the health department saying in every county? What happens if you drive to another county or another state? I mean, these were real things that were having a legitimate impact. So, but yeah, a year in now, and now everybody's sick of it. Even I'm not going to say our traffic is necessarily down but it is down from like that peak last year when everybody was, because people are getting fatigued with this pandemic.
Mm-hmm. They don't even want to hear about it anymore.
Yeah, and we are. I think we're moving in a good spot.
You're right, and we're
towards a good spot.
And as Kristen mentioned with the programming, we're trying to remain flexible as we get into this first part of this year. If there are things we can do in person, social distance outside at the preserve, great.
Right.
But we are planning for Zoom and Facebook Live and virtual type of programming just to stay flexible and stay safe.
I remember we were talking yesterday on the phone, and we were talking about how amazing it is to even have some of the speakers you have coming with the situation of the pandemic. You weren't sure what you were going to do. So I think that's another turning point, showing like, okay, I'm able to get some of these people that I really want to come talk about this information, and it doesn't have to necessarily be over Zoom right now. Like, you never know, but for the most part, you're trying to bring them in person.
For our speakers, I think they'll mainly be virtual.
Oh man, I was hoping that you were going to be able to get some in person.
Maybe.
So
maybe.
We're happy that we're able to at least get this set up. We're able to get people that are signing up to do these talks, but I was hoping it would be more so in person. Oh no.
But Sydney, outside of the series, we'll be doing other things that will be in person.
Do you know yet, like, some of those things that you'll be doing?
Right there with those calendars there, right?
Look at this beautiful calendar.
Mark
Look at this
dates.
picture. I can't get over how pretty this picture is. And this is taken where exactly?
This is taken at the Seneca Meadows Wetlands Preserve. That is our iconic oak tree.
How do I
and the photographer in that is Kevin Colton. He's a local. I believe he lives in Seneca Falls.
Yes, I've heard of him from sending in photos, I think, on this show a while back.
And he participated, as you can see in our community calendar, and we invited the entire community to participate and submit their photos, and we have a range of photos from local members of the community, and they just came up with some fantastic shots.
So much information. Yeah. As soon as you said to look at this, you have your whole 2021 event schedule already on here. So this is something that, people need to know. You have yoga and flower walks and butterflies and, oh my goodness, snowshoeing is already over. We don't want to hear about the snow anymore. So let's look at some of the warmer weathers. The scavenger hunts. Okay, so people need to remember, if they don't have anything to do, they have less things they can do because of the pandemic. This is nature. This is stuff outside. This is things that people can do and enjoy with their families.
Really close by.
Yeah, really close by. What else, though, with Susan? She seemed like a very interesting woman, and she's the first one on this series. So what else has she done?
Thanks, Sydney. She did create a movie called Lake Ontario, A Quest for Hope, that we will likely show a few segments of other women on water that she featured. One that came up, actually, that is local, Jean Syracusa. I forgot that she was highlighted in Susan's movie, and I see that she was instrumental in moving forward the conservation at the southern end of Owasco Lake. Now the Owasco Flats Nature Reserve has just celebrated a year as a nonprofit, and she really did a lot of work there. She was an environmental professor at Auburn Community College, I believe. Susan taught women sailing lessons that I've heard about, and she's written many, many books. One of my favorites is Ariadne's Death, which really takes like newspaper articles from back in the day. One of my favorite stories is about a life-saving service and these men that like dragged their boats through the snow to go row out into the lake and go save these people, in terrible conditions. Wow. So Susan can really show people what the lake is like in all types of weather through all types of time. Her last book, The Widowmaker, this historical fiction, I was really fascinated and very impressed by. It highlights Molly McIntyre, a female ship owner under the age of wooden sail, and the challenges that women faced then. And she talks about the techniques of sailing, which I thought were really interesting, being a landlubber myself, right? And the ecology and geography of the lake. So really informational and made me want to do more of all those things.
So she's an author, an educator, a sailor, an environmentalist. I mean, she obviously wears a lot of hats and is pretty passionate about everything. So it's a great speaker to start off, and it's a great opportunity for someone to interact with someone like this. I mean, I know there's tons of people around here that obviously have interest in the lakes and the environment, and but specifically like just the clean water of the Finger Lakes. It's a lot of people have either economic interests or just affinity for that type of thing here in the Finger Lakes. So that's a perfect for guests.
Powerful women on top of that, and then you have the trifecta right there.
The trifecta.
This area.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Jim. Is one of the programs later on this year is going to be about lake-friendly living and things you can do, easy things you can do, incorporate at your own home to be a better steward of our lake and our watersheds.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people living on the lake or farming along the lake. So yeah, that's certainly something that they are the real stewards are the people that are there every day. They can have an impact for sure, positive or negative.
Do people have to register for this event?
I believe so. The Zoom link is available on our Facebook page.
Okay, and that Facebook page is just Seneca Meadows Education Center, correct? It is. And then, so they just have to get that Zoom link, and then they can be there. How long is the event for?
It'll probably be about 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's not bad at all. Like, sometimes I feel like people could also go into it and be like, okay, this is an educational thing. How long is it going to be? And if I'm bringing kids or something, is it going to help their attention span? But a 45-minute thing talking about a powerful woman, talking about the Finger Lakes, I think would be perfect.
On Saturday, right?
On March 6th.
3 days from now.
This Saturday.
Yeah, this Saturday, 3 days from now, 1 o'clock.
So to find that link, there's a couple different ways they can find it, right? It's on the Facebook page, but is it also on Seneca Meadows' website as well?
Right now, just go to the Facebook page.
We'll have it. We'll put it up on Finger Lakes One. If you come to our site on Saturday afternoon, starting at about 12:30, we'll have the link right at the top. It'll say "Join Live Now,"
Love
so you won't be
that.
able to miss it. So it'll be easy to do. And looking here at the weather, not going to be too nice Saturday, so you might as well plan on staying in and
Have some lunch,
Cup of
learn
coffee, a
some
cup of hot
stuff.
chocolate,
Yep.
and
Yeah, I think it'd be great. That starts at 1 p.m. though. Kicking off at 1 p.m. We'll have it on our site at 12:30. There's so much more, obviously, we could talk about, but I think we should save it for the people that are actually going to tune in and, start this series off. Is there any other things that you'd want to let everybody know before we switch over to Jim's weather?
Oh, goodness. Well, we're looking forward to our butterfly garden workshop that'll be coming up soon.
That sounds amazing.
We'll be doing all kinds of pollinator work this summer.
So, just be on the lookout for you because you have so many fun, amazing educational things that people can do throughout this whole summer coming up.
yeah, and we'll have you back in a couple months when the weather warms up, and hopefully there's some in-person outdoor events to enjoy.
I'm putting it out there. It's going to happen. You're going to be able to have some outdoor events. You might have a little bit of restrictions or,
Well,
protocols.
I'm confused by this all because we're saying we're going to have enough vaccines for everybody by the end of May, every
I heard
adult.
that. I heard
So
that.
I'm like, okay,
Wow.
but then you got to get everybody vaccinated. But let's say that we get like half the population vaccinated. Isn't that time when we can start getting back to normal? Because then you hear things. Well, you hear things like people say, like President Biden yesterday was asked when things would get to be normal again. And he said by a year from now, and that doesn't make sense. Like a year from now, come on. Like I'm thinking, like maybe June. Let's go.
I think at least my sense of it is these new strains are maybe causing some concern with folks.
But I think we're over the hump of the pandemic. I'm hoping.
No, it's hard to tell. People are still dying, but the curve is on the way down. But yeah, it's there's always risks, some inherent risk in life, and I think when we mitigate the risk to a certain point, mainly for businesses to be able to operate.
Right. I want to support my local Finger Lakes businesses that haven't been able to, fully operate.
Well, we mentioned Red's Place.
Yeah.
They're reopening under a new name, a different ownership, Red Brick Pub. Mm-hmm. So that's a tough business to operate a bar with limited capacity. So it's starting to definitely have it already has a major impact on a lot of businesses. So
well, I know we've been enjoying your show sponsor there, Woody's, quite a bit, and not in person, but we've been having it delivered over to the office.
Right.
We've been enjoying their lunches.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so many of them have done what they had to do to be able to still operate, and sometimes I feel like it could have worked better, and they should continue this as options.
Hopefully you can. Yeah, people get
forward.
more used to going, eating in, or eating out, taking out, delivery. Seneca Falls Country Club, which is another member of our marketing alliance, they have Friday night takeout dinners that have been very, very popular.
Oh, I'm sure.
And those specials are on Facebook every week. And it was something that a year or two ago you would have thought, well, we're not going to try to do takeout. If people want to come in, they come in, but nobody's going to do takeout. And last Friday night, for example, 130 dinners.
Wow.
Takeout or delivery.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So there is a bright spot, but but yeah, I don't know. Pandemic fatigue for sure.
But we're going to tell people to go get their favorite food and then go back to their house, get on their Zoom, which they're very aware of now how to use, many people, and watch this series, the WOW series. But we do want to touch base on the weather because today is a beautiful day, and I hope it continues that way.
Well, looking ahead to the weekend, Friday, partly sunny with a high near 29. Chance of some precipitation. It'll be windy, though.
Yikes.
Not a bad day. And then Saturday, 40% chance of rain or snow showers, mostly cloudy with a high near 30. Sunday, high near 33. Again, just a 40% chance of rain or snow, mostly in the morning. And then when we get back to work next week, Monday, mostly sunny, high near 49. Tuesday, mostly sunny, high near 54.
Okay.
I mean, Tuesday, mostly sunny, high near 54. Break out the tank tops.
You're going to see everybody
get
by
your
the
shorts,
lakes.
get your rollerblades or whatever you want to do. And it's gonna
Grab
gonna
the
be
sticks, Jim.
it's gonna be like spring break.
yeah.
Well, by then maybe the snow will be gone, so you could potentially, go golfing.
I can imagine that you will, for sure.
Do a lot of
That
things.
type
Get out in the yard for the first time, maybe. But unfortunately, that's a Monday and a Tuesday. But nonetheless,
Some
54
people,
will.
that's nothing nowadays.
54 and sunny will feel like 80 degrees, and it'll
See it every year.
Yep.
See it every year. People will be out by those lakes. They'll be wanting to walk. They'll be wanting to get some fresh air.
A lot of people walking, a lot of walking
And
the
we'll
dogs,
worry.
riding bikes, whatever.
Hopefully they're all still being
I don't know
safe.
why I said rollerblading. I don't have rollerblades.
I would love to see you on some rollerblades.
I used to have
though.
some rollerblades, but
We still, we do. We
we got a
almost
couple more
out of
minutes.
time,
What
yeah.
what's your plans for this weekend, Sydney?
I don't even know. Just remember, if you look back a year from today, every time they asked me what my plans were, I was book solid. And now it's been a new way of life of not being as book solid, and I kind of love it. So I'm scared to go back. I know starting next weekend, my weekend's pretty booked, but this weekend's pretty open. Guys, got anything interesting going on? Besides, besides the big series that we're kicking off, do you have any you time this weekend?
Oh, I'm sure it'll happen. I'm just working to get through Saturday.
Right, we're working to Saturday, not get through it, but we're going to enjoy it. We're going to have a great Saturday. What about you?
Well, so before I tune into the WoW series, what time does that start, Kristen?
I think it's 11.
I believe so. Yeah, 11 o'clock.
Oh, see, I thought it was 1, but okay, we'll double check. We'll have.
Well, she would know.
Let me look at the calendar.
Before that, I will be attending a local scout troop in attending their Pinewood Derby races.
Oh,
Nice. So they're doing that in person and
Yeah,
everything?
they are.
Good.
They are over at one of the local sportsmen's clubs. So we'll be
That's
checking
fun.
that out.
That's fun. So, yeah, let's see if it says it on here. This here it says 1, and that is for
But
the
it's
very
11
first
a.m.
one, but it's at 11.
11 a.m.
So,
Which is when we'll have it linked up.
Okay, we'll definitely have it linked up. You can check their Facebook for more information. That's Seneca Meadows Education Center. You can just search it in the Facebook. And we are really glad.
Doesn't anybody care what I'm doing this weekend?
Oh, yes. Go on. Please, you go. Golf?
Maybe, but I don't know. There's still too much snow on the ground. But so it's high school basketball season still. It's the last week of the regular season. It ends Friday. Sunday morning, Upstate Hoops podcast at 10 a.m. We'll have all the brackets for sectionals. It's our big
that's
sectional
exciting.
preview show.
Wow.
So 10 a.m. Sunday morning for that. And then what else is going on? Oh, one of my friends, Rhett Taccone, is his birthday, and we're
happy
going.
birthday,
We're going to
Rhett.
go to a restaurant.
Ooh,
Going to
risky.
Ports, yeah, on Saturday night. So
Nothing wrong with ports. And then does it start spring sports, but is football starting?
football season starts. Yeah, and for high schools, football season starts
that's
next
so
week. And
confusing. I would never be able
volleyball.
to catch up.
And then that'll go for about a month, and then you'll get your spring sports starting up. But so high school basketball around here in the winter is such a big thing, and they are going to crown sectional champions. So by this week, next week, this time it will actually be into the semifinals, and by Saturday it'll all be over, and there'll be sectional champs and no states this year or anything. But
Then off to football. Blows my mind.
Yep.
But that's really all the time we had. Thank you again for coming. I know you have so much
Thanks.
knowledge to tell everybody about. You have so much education to teach, and everybody needs to tune in. And again, thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed the show, you can click like, you can share with your friends, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be back again next Wednesday, of course. And until then, have a great weekend here in the Finger Lakes.